Now, we've heard it all from Imo State, some of the deadliest attacks. A judge shot dead inside his court premises in February, unknown gunmen kidnapping and beheading a local government chairman, political opponents attacked, their homes burnt, and their relatives murdered, whilst insurgent groups and criminal gangs rampaged through the state. All this ahead of a governorship election that's due to take place in 6 months' time. For a number of years now, government in Imo State has been the toughest of bargains, with the authorities trying to crack down on insurgent violence and armed criminal gangs who have changed the face of the once peaceful state. Well, according to supporters of the APC government of Governor Hope Uzodinma, who are calling for his re-election, Imo State is shedding that violent past. Calm is returning to the towns and villages, and the economy is slowly starting to pick up. But critics disagree and say that the government has controversially turned the state into an area where officially sanctioned violence and repression are the order of the day, with political opponents attacked and detained unconstitutionally and on illegal grounds. So, with the governorship election due in Imo State in November, is the violence and disorder set to get worse? Well, for more on what's happening in Imo State, I'm joined now in the studio by Oshieze Dr. Ken Uba, an APC chieftain and member of the Imo State Council of Elders. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Charles.
Now, you should probably start, because if you do, you'll be moving in and out of the pictures. I mean, it's a temptation when you're sitting on that chair, isn't it? Well, what's happening in Imo State from the point of view of the government there? Because we hear about gruesome violence, political opponents being attacked, and now another set of problems coming up there. Well, what is your assessment of what is going on there?
Well, my assessment is that facts are sacred. That means you can't be able to change them. It's there on the grounds to see. The governor has done so much in countering this unknown gunmen. Yeah, the unknown gunmen, he has done so much in countering them. He, in conjunction with the security agencies, have fought them, defeated them, to the extent that Imo is largely peaceful. That is not to say there are no pockets of violence here and there, but it's largely peaceful to the extent that Imolites now sleep with their 2 eyes closed. I'm just coming from Owerri a few days ago, and everywhere is peaceful. The nightclubs are bubbling, the lounges are bubbling, the joints are bubbling. Owerri and Imo, they are known for hospitality. And all the food businesses are on. And people are moving about their lawful businesses, without fear or favor. So the point is that he has contained this violence, but the opposition, the governor at the beginning and up till now, and he has proof, since that he's insisting that the opposition were the cause of this thing, or for struggle of power. And I believe him.
Right, your phone is ringing. It needs to be turned off.
She said that
right.
It has been switched off.
Well, you claim that violence is reducing, but everyone else, including people in the security services, seem to think that things are really bad in Imo State. Obviously, it's one thing to say that the government is doing everything it can to reduce the violence, quite another for their effort to be actually reducing that violence.
Charles, the way I started my statement is that facts are sacred. Anybody who's doubting what I'm saying can go to Imo State and verify. I am saying, without mincing words, that he has contained these bad boys in quotes, the unknown gunmen, and people are moving around safely. That is not to say there are no pockets of violence once in a while here and there. I mean, nowhere is 100% peaceful. But largely, Imo State is very peaceful. And we must give kudos to the governor. You see, you may not like somebody's face. You don't even have to love your leader. You don't have to love your leader. You don't have to love your governor or your president. But where he has done well, you give him credit. That is what you call a constructive opposition.
Well, the point is that we're not in Imo State.
Yes.
You're a member of the APC,
That's
which
right.
is the governing party
That's
in
right.
Imo State.
That's right.
The opposition say that things have not changed, that they're as bad as they could possibly be. Some members of the security forces, speaking anonymously, are saying that things are as bad as they can be. I mean, what is the situation, for example, with IPOB, that separatist group there? Are they on the back foot, or is there some form of negotiation taking place to bring them sort of on side? What's the story there?
No, the governor receives information from all and sundry. He has repeatedly said that IPOB is not the direct cause of the violence, that is sponsored by political opponents for the quest of power, who want to make the state ungovernable so that he will look bad, in presence of the indigenes of the state. Like you said, the election is coming up, so they're trying to use that as a way of making him look bad and submerge his achievements. But
this is not just happening now. I mean, the election is taking place in November, but a lot of the violence has been happening over the years.
That's what I'm saying. It started slowly. Some political opponents made a categorical statement that they are going to make the state ungovernable. And that's a fact. It's on record.
Yeah. Okay.
So most of these things are politically motivated. And that is why, like I said, he has, to a large extent, in conjunction with the security agencies of Imo State, curtailed it to a barest minimum.
Right, but how has he done that? Because that's what raises concern. When you say that he sees it as something being sponsored by the political opposition, it raises concerns, because you're saying that he has brought things, calm things down. How has he done that? Has he repressed the political opposition? Has he leapt down on them from a great height? How has he brought to heel those people he claims are the ones who are fomenting the problem, which essentially is the political opposition, according to what you're saying?
The security agents have the way they work. They have their information, and when they get their information, they act. You see, when the people who are opposing the government, trying to make Imo State insecure, have seen that Imo is not a safe haven for them, most of them, have, quietly either disappeared or stopped what they're doing. I remember that a former deputy governor was arrested sometime and also questioned, So the security agents have their way of getting information, and when they get the information, they act. And somebody will be stupid to see a moving train coming directly, opposite him and stay there. That's what is happening. They have seen that the forces against them is higher than whatever they expected. And so most of them have either left the state, or the ones remaining in the state have stopped whatever they are doing.
Well,
that is the situation.
I mean, your description and your choice of words, I'm not quite sure I totally understand the method that's being used. Because let's give you one example. Ikenga Ugochinyere, who was a well-known young man who has opposed the government, and he's perfectly entitled to do that. He's a member of the opposition. He's opposed a lot of the policies which he thinks are not right in the state. He's opposed things that he feels are untoward. He's alerted the public to what they believe are things that are going wrong in the state. I mean, his house has been attacked, it was burned down, his relatives killed, and attempts made to scuttle his chances, but he's won the election in any case. I mean, he won the election to the House of Representatives. And that's just one example. And what we're trying to understand is when you say that people like that are the people who are fomenting trouble, are you saying that they don't have the right to oppose government policies and to draw attention to what they feel is going wrong in the state?
To the best of my knowledge, I don't think the governor is fighting those who are opposing his policies. What he's fighting, like I said, in conjunction with the security agencies, are those who are creating insecurity, violence in the state. And I will not sit here and tell you the methodology of the security agents. I'm not their spokesman, but I know that they have curtailed this violence to the barest minimum, to the extent that as I speak to you now, Imo State is a safe haven. Because when somebody wants to create violence and sees a force that is higher than what he wants to do, he has no choice to stop or to run away. You can't stand in front of a moving train.
Well, let's turn to the man who many see as the root of a lot of the problems in Imo State. That's the Governor Hope Uzodinma, who you clearly support. Yeah. He's a member of your party.
That's right.
But how much support does he actually enjoy in Imo State? Because many see him as someone who didn't win an election. I mean, someone who was imposed on the people of Imo State by a court order which many believe was unfair and manifestly unjust.
You know, this court case was decided about 3 years ago. The Supreme Court, in this infinite wisdom, said categorically, stated categorically, that Hope Uzodinma won the election in their infinite wisdom. So, because of that, some people who were removed from power, there's nobody that will be removed from power that will be happy. Definitely they will protest. But at the end of the day, this man in question has revived the infrastructure of Imo State to the extent that even people who did not like him before have started liking him.
Yeah, I'm going to come to that in a minute, yes, because I want to give you the opportunity to tell us about his achievements. But what I'm asking you is, I'm trying to gauge and assess the level of his grassroots popularity within the state. I mean, beyond just making a political sort of statement, how do you assess that?
That's right. You know, first and foremost, I'm a grassroots politician. And in this last election, I traversed almost in my local government every nook and corner.
Yeah, in fairness to you,
yes,
we had those pictures, but because of the technical problems we have, we can't show them. But I mean, I've seen those pictures, so you are right, you did travel across the place.
That's right. So
what travel doesn't mean that...
No, I want to say is that...
It doesn't really mean anything, does it?
What I want to say, because of his achievements, which has impacted positively on the life of the people, the majority of Igbo citizens are now supporting him. He showed in the last House of Assembly election. Like I said, facts are sacred. When something is there, it's there. When it's not there, it's not there. So it's not something you just come on national television and probably lie to people when the facts are there. He is now popular amongst Imolites, both in the rural areas and in the cities.
Right, so what is making him popular? What are his achievements that he can point to? Because, as you said, the governorship election is coming up in November, and I expect he's keen to show people what he's done and why they should vote for him.
The records are there.
Yeah, but we'll
first
want you
and
to tell us
foremost,
those
yes,
records.
that's where I'm going to, Charles. The records are there. It's not, you can't controvert it. The roads he has done, first-class roads. These roads are roads that have, over the years, been so bad.
And how extensive are those
Oh,
roads?
yeah, very extensive. For instance now, Owerri to Olu Road, which for the last 30 years was almost impassable. People were suffering, Igbo lives were suffering. Now that particular road is dualized with street light from Owerri directly to Olo. It's there to be seen. Nobody, even the blind, will see it. Then Owerri to Okigwe Road, the same thing. There's a particular place they call Ekemele. In fact, it's on the route to my own village. Charles, it will take you 6 hours to pass Ekemele during rainy season and during the Yuletide, Christmas season. You dare not. People suffered. Now that road, you can just cruise past it. The next one is Owerri. These are monumental projects. The next one is Owerri to Umuahia. It's far gone. The same dualization. On this road, a place we call Ebu, between Ebu and Emekuku, you can stay there 3-4 hours. People know it, so they're not hidden. And now that road is almost 60% concluded. The governor said that by December this year, he'll be commissioning that road. And I believe him because I passed that road about 2 weeks ago. The speed of the work and solid, very thick road that the contractors are doing, Charles, you can't help but say
right, beyond the roads.
Yes. Apart from the roads, there are so many other things. Like the civil servants in Imo, anybody can say what they want, but the civil servants, if you ask them, they've not had it as beautiful as they have it now. To the extent that the governor pays them 13th month salary. That means instead of 12 months, he pays 13 months at every Christmas. It's not been done in any part of this country. You know, the secretariat where they work, before now there was no water, it was like scrap. But they now enjoy working. They don't pay transport, most of them. They use buses, air-conditioned buses, and snacks that serve them. I'm saying it on national television. So I can't come here and lie. Do you understand? Now look at the recovery. He recovered K.O. Mbadiwe University for the state from a former governor who took it as a personal property. I'm talking of Anayorocha Okorocha Owele. He took it as a personal property. The government recovered it from it and is now named K.O. Mbadiwe University, to the glory of God and to the happiness of Imolites. I can go on and on. Okay, look at the flood. Before a place called Okigwe Road, by now that is rainy season, you cannot pass it. Your cars will be submerged, human beings fall into the drainage and are missing. But because of the balloon technology, a very modern technology the governor employed, that road is passable now. Once it rains now, it drains into, one of the rivers, I think Otamini River, These are facts.
Right, okay. Well, that's what you say. I don't have
yes.
them. I'm not in Imo State.
And I say you can investigate.
I mean, we've seen pictures. They've run some adverts on Arise News about the things that are being done. You also forgot to mention what we saw on television the other day. I mean, I'm just being objective. I'm not supporting one side or the other, but the dredging of the Oguta Lake.
That's where, I hadn't finished talking. Yeah. That's the icing on the cake.
It hasn't been done, though, but that's a proposed
No,
thing.
It's not proposed. The vice president has flagged it off. That means work has started. It's not just for the form of
what I'm saying is that it hasn't been done. It's it's been flagged off.
Yes, it has started. Work has started, and it will take some time for it to be concluded. And just to mention, a few days ago too, the governor has again approved, the employment of 10,000 more teachers in Imo State. To make education very, very accessible to people. So these are few, of his achievements. He has done so much.
Well, obviously, we are a very objective television news service, and we give opportunity to opponents of the government to come and put out there, because obviously you support the government.
Definitely.
So, I mean, they have a right to reply to some of the things that you said.
Definitely.
But of course, 3 former senators are taking part in that election in November. Those 3 are considered to be front runners: the incumbent governor, Hope Uzodinma of the APC, Senator Samuel Anyanwu of the PDP, and Senator Ethan Achonu of the Labour Party. All three were at one time or the other members of the PDP. But Governor Hope Uzodinma defected to the APC, and Senator Achonu defected to Labour, but Senator Anyanwu stayed with the PDP. So do you expect the campaign and the battle for the seat of governor to be a bruising fight, especially given the history of violence in Imo State?
No. It's not going to be a very, very difficult fight because of the performance of the governor. Like I told you, since Mbakwe's time, Imo lives have not had it this rosy and beautiful. These are facts. And I don't see anybody coming to win Hope Uzodinma for governorship election, in November. Because the performance is there. It's monumental. And people like continuity. They want, okay, look at the other time, the Imo State Elders Council, in their wisdom.
You're a member of that council?
Yes, I am a member. Yeah. Signed in their wisdom. Signed a communique that the governor should be allowed to have one more term, to be able to complete most of the monumental projects.
What do you mean allowed?
No. What I mean, they in their wisdom, he's saying
he's going to take what he's done to the electorate, and if they want, they'll vote him back in.
They are saying that he has done so well that the people should vote him back. That's what they mean.
Right. Okay. Well, let's leave Imo State for a minute.
Okay.
Because you're a member of the APC, you're an APC chieftain. Let's turn to the leadership contest in the National Assembly. What do you make of what's going on there?
What I make of it is that the party is supreme. This is my own opinion. I'm not speaking for the party. The party is supreme. That is why in election, it is the party that runs the election, not the individual. It is the logo of the party that is in the ballot papers. The individuals are merely the candidates of the party.
No. You don't have that kind of election in the National Assembly, do you?
No, not all. I'm talking of how they emerged.
Right.
I know where I'm going to.
Okay.
So now, you don't expect the party to just sit idly, without contributing or without guiding its members, so that at the end of the day, there will be some form of stability in the National Assembly. And that's what I've seen the party, doing. What they've done, they've zoned some of these things, the Senate, presidency to South-South in their wisdom, and their preferred candidate is Senator Godswill Akpabio. Charles, I don't know if you were in this country when Godswill was governor for 2 terms. Monumental achievements, the uncommon governor. The antecedents are there, his achievements are there, his leadership qualities are there. And I dare say I've known him since Federal Government College, Port Harcourt, where he easily emerged as a senior prefect. From there, he emerged as commissioner 2 times in Akwa Ibom State, and from there he became governor. And his achievements and records are there for everybody to see. So I think the party was right in its wisdom to prefer him after zoning it to the South-South. That's my opinion.
Okay. Well, no guesses then who you're supporting. What about the House of Representatives?
The House of Representatives, the party is also right to zone it, to the Northwest. But that is not, I know there are a lot of protests, but the North Central people who are mainly challenging that particular zoning arrangement are forgetting that they have the party chairmanship. The party chairmanship is a very strong position. And I think in the equation, the party took it into consideration. The performance of the Northwest in the election of the presidential election of Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu was very instrumental to his emergence, the 2.6 million votes. And in politics, your contribution matters a lot. You can't push it aside. So probably that's why they gave them that position of the speakership. and also gave them the deputy Senate president.
Well, we're pretty clear on where you stand on things. I want to thank you very much indeed for taking the time to come and blow the trumpet of your governor, Uzodinma, and all your chums in the APC party in the National Assembly. Osheze, Dr. Ken Uba is an APC chieftain and member of the Imo State Council of Elders. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for having me, Charles.